Hello there. I'm Georgienne Bradley. I'm the director of CSA Foundation. Wanted to take a few minutes today to talk to you a little bit about our Ocean Week in Review. A lot of you read it, but I'm not so sure you all understand how many steps go into the production. So every week we start on Saturday and we scour the internet for news stories. We summarize them and eventually they get to you by newsletter or by posts on our social media platforms. And there's so much that goes into it. I'm going to hand it over to Kat.
Hey everyone, we're thrilled to bring you on this behind the scenes tours of our Ocean Weekend Review. As you will see, we all work in different locations all around the world. I'm in Canada in the beautiful Rocky Mountains, and it is my job to oversee the entire operation. I make sure all our team members are on track to complete their tasks by Friday when the Ocean Weekend Review gets published and sent to you. In addition to managing the team, I research news stories that are coming in from all around the world and adding them to the document.
Got it. Okay, so after the bulk of stories are loaded into the Google Doc, as you just saw, I get busy creating summaries. We condense all the info down to 3 or 4 sentences. We also work to create titles for each story that gives the reader a pretty good idea about what's going on. This way, even if our readers only have time to skim over the titles, they still have access to important ocean news. Of course, readers can gain more info by clicking on the links under the paragraphs. From there, they are brought to the original full-length story or scientific publications. I'll hand it to Kelsey. Here you go, Kelsey.
Hi guys, I'm Kelsey, and I love the ocean. In fact, my entire family lives for the ocean. Let's get back to the Ocean Week in Review. I get to review every single summary and every single story that is produced. Meanwhile, it's still early on Thursday. However, we are set to publish every single Friday. And friends, that is tomorrow. Would you believe that there are still new stories coming in? Yeah. It's wildly wonderful, and this is when things get crazy. So Melia is out there collecting all these new stories that are coming in. She's summarizing them beautifully, and then they get back to me. Once those summaries and stories that are new come to me, I check every single word. I look for spelling, I look for punctuation, and I look for grammar. When it comes to the Ocean Week in Review, perfection is super important. Remember, we're trying to give you the facts, so we really need to be precise. Once perfection is achieved, we get to hand it off to publishing. Heads up. I bet you thought you were done with me. Well, not quite. There's still more to do. My next task is to take all of our stories and upload them to our newsletter platform as well as our WordPress blog. It is late on Thursday, and there are still new stories coming in. I'm keeping a watchful eye on my email just in case Kat alerts me to anything new that's coming in. When I upload, it starts with the title. Then I load in the paragraphs. After that, it's time to add the imagery. This is probably my most favorite part because it really allows me to give the readers a visual cue for what's coming up in the story. Once the story is completely loaded with imagery, I add buttons that link back to the original source. Now that workflow was just for the newsletter. Are you paying attention? Because earlier I had told you that I have to do the same thing for the newsletter and our WordPress blog. So now I start from the top and do that same workflow for our WordPress blog. This is super important as it allows our social media followers to be in on the inside news too. Well, now is the time that we send it back to the lovely Kat.
All right, so after an additional check, I pay special attention to the links and buttons to ensure that everything functions properly. That is when the Ocean Weekend Review meets the final boss, Georgienne.
Wow. The Ocean Week in Review is looking super good. It's all together, it's collated, everybody's done all of their work. Now it's time to ship it off to Melissa and Ian where it can get bundled up and they'll make sure it gets right to you. Sorry, kitten.
Thanks, G. Hi, I'm Melissa and I'm coming to you from Wisconsin. Once everything gets done, then I take the information and I schedule it in an email to go out at 8 o'clock in the morning New York time. Why? Well, that's so that they have a chance to read it on their commute. When that's done, then I hand it off to Ian. Ian lives in London, and it's like 3 in the morning, so we're not going to bother him right now. What Ian does is that Ian takes the blog link and he puts it in all of the CSave social media outlets. Then, throughout the week, he uses different stories on each outlet. Once that's done, we're done for the week. I'm going to go take a walk around the lake because it's all about to start over again tomorrow. Back to you, G.
Tricked ya. Georgienne, I got this one for you, girl. I'm taking over on this one. I want to thank all of you for watching our little expose on the Ocean Week in Review. Clearly, it is not an easy feat to complete all these tasks in 1 week. But it's something that we do because it's really important to us, and we love the feedback that we get from everybody on our work. It's incredibly rewarding. I really want to talk about this little guy because you may have noticed that we were tossing it back and forth to one another, and it's very symbolic because we are not working in the same space. We cross state lines, we cross borders, we're in different countries. And we all connect and make this thing happen every single week. That said, thank you. And thank you to the Ocean Week in Review team. You guys are absolutely amazing. My face is really starting to burn. I've had this mask on like way too long, exposing myself. You know what I mean.